Hello again, my friends all over the world, wherever you are. William Poloniak here from Whole Health Foundation. Today I'm going to make a juice with about a dozen golden bell peppers, an abundance of tomatoes, and other ingredients. Let's look at those ingredients. Well, my friends, as you can see here, I have celery, two kinds of greens, collard greens, and I think this is a Russian kale. French sorrel, 5 golden bell peppers, 3 cucumbers, 1 huge beet, carrots of course, tomatoes, turmeric, ginger, and garlic. I'm going to begin by installing the near zero blowback cutter, which has over 80 teeth cut into the 5 blades. And notice I'm using the front loading feed tube. This front loading feed tube is an exclusive invention of Whole Health Foundation, and it eliminates blowback up to your ceiling 100%. So let's install the cutter. And you'll notice that behind the cutter there's about room for about 5 sheets of 20-pound paper. There should be a gap at the back. And what I'm going to do to start is put in the J grid, J for juice, and eliminate the number 2 grid, which is better for carrots. We'll install that later. And I'm going to start by feeding in 2 or 3 ice cubes because it's a hot and humid day here in sunny Southern California. We're up to 26 degrees. You can go as high as 40, but I want to keep it below 20. So I'll plug in the thermometer and feed in the ice cube. I'll do my greens first, and then I'll follow that with carrots. And continuing with the greens, we'll roll that into a tube. And remember, when you do greens, clean your grid often. And like I said, greens clog your grid frequently, and you need to clean it frequently because greens are very, very fibrous. So we'll continue with the greens. I'll feed in some beets. Continue with these large tomatoes. I have to cut them in thirds because they're too big for the feed tube. And remember, with liquid things like tomato and cucumber, push it down only part way. Otherwise it'll spin at you. And I'll continue with carrots until we're done. Of my carrots. And I want to point a couple things out. I can see in here, which is one of the advantages of the front loading feed tube, and I see that all my produce is shred, but I always like to make sure and put in a couple of fingers full of pulp, and I'm going to force anything through that I might have missed. It's a good idea to rotate the bowl in both directions, get a better mix that way. I want to point out to always keep your cloths in the freezer, and the reason for that is airborne contaminants cannot grow in the freezer. So crack them on the corner of the counter as I did, and then separate the 6 cloths. And I'm going to show you my 6 cloth less work method. 6 cloths go in the front of the folding tray, leaving space here for the folded cloths. So we'll begin by putting 3 scoops. So these 2 will go in the press, and this is very, very important. Centered left to right, centered front to back, adjust if need be, all the way back, back it off. Now the reason you back it off is you don't want this to go up too fast because you risk the cloths separating. Now notice I'm using a large collection bowl because if you use a small one, this would overshoot. So while that's pressing, we'll continue putting pulp into these cloths. Now here's my 6 cloth less work method. This goes forward, that goes over. The already pressed cloths go on top, and you never throw away that pulp until the very end, and I'll show you why. So 2 more cloths, centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, back it off. Now, as I mentioned, never throw away this pulp. It's damp around the edges, which is an indication there's more juice in there. But now, instead of putting 3 scoops, we'll put 2 scoops in the middle because this patty is getting thicker and thicker. And later, we'll put only 1 scoop. So set that aside. And again, I'll remind you, never throw away the pulp. So we'll advance that all the way. We'll put 2 scoops on here. That's advanced all the way. Again, my 6 cloth less work method. This goes forward, that goes over. The spent cloths go on top. Now because this is almost full, I'm going to put it into bottles. And also, because my carrot pulp is a little emptier, I'm going to put all of this in there and mix everything together. Now we'll mix this in before I fill bottles. Let's shut that off. And when we're done, we'll make more juice. Keep your eye on that. It's getting very, very full. I'm going to back that off because it's going to overflow. Very important to keep your eye on that container toward the end. Now there's 10 bottles so far and a little more. We're going to have a large batch of juice this time. Here's my last cloth, and we'll use a spatula to get the last of this pulp out of this bowl. We'll set this aside to clean later and fold this into thirds. Advance that all the way. While these last 2 cloths are pressing, well, notice not quite centered, so we'll center it. While those last 2 cloths are pressing, I'm going to take the spent pulp, and you may not see how damp it is around the corners. And I want to mention, most people throw this away. What a waste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the edges into the center and make as tight a ball as I can and repackage it. But I'm going to use a special folding technique of folding it under 2 or 3 or 4 times. And I'll do that in both directions. And I'll continue folding all of these cloths until we're done. Now, my friends, as you can see, I've repackaged the already spent pulp. This is pulp that most people would throw away. And they throw it away because they've never seen my videos and they don't know there's more nutrition in here. And the juice from these last packets has more nutrients, what you might call micronutrients, than the other juices. So let's flatten this and put 2 at a time in the press, and let's see how much more juice we get. Pressing 2 packets at once makes for more juice extraction. All the way back it off a little bit. And while that's pressing, I'm going to repackage these because I can see it's damp around the edges. Now, my friends, I've repackaged the pulp a second time, and I have 17 ounces here, and it's too full. So I'll pour it into this collection container, and then we're going to press the second packaging of the spent pulp. So let's get that right into the center. Now there's another 11 ounces of juice, so 17 plus 11, 28 more ounces of juice. That's 2 extra bottles of juice, and I could repackage it again because I noticed it's still damp around the edges, but I've spent enough time on this juice, so what I'm going to do is stop this now and put it into bottles. And now let's cap them off, and then we'll do a taste test. Well, my friends, as you can see, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 bottles of juice, and more than 2 of these came from pressing the already spent pulp that most people would throw away. And then we have a little for a taste test. So let's do a taste test. Now, my friends, here we have another garden harvest juice with some golden bell peppers and an abundance of tomatoes. Let's see what it tastes like. I can definitely taste the tomatoes. It's very delicious. Well, I hope you like what you've seen, my friends. And if you'd like to call me about buying a juicer, improving your juicer, or just get some advice or videos, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. I'll see you in the next video.